podcast where the host needs a therapist
I think that I have very low self-esteem.
and wants to be one.
You're avoiding
From
everything.
the Mac of all trades studio in Fairport, New York, it's Billified, the Bill Moran podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Danny's in here. Everybody in my life is going broke, and apparently I'm the Federal Reserve.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
It could be worse.
Yeah, right.
Right, you know? No, I just, it's like, I was listening to, I cast my phone to a TV in here, and I was listening to music, and all my texts were popping up, and Danny goes, oh, boy. And I said, yeah, man, that's just what's happening. No, it's, I don't know. It's my son, and he has an apartment.
Oh, not the one I would have guessed.
And he is having his girlfriend move in.
Okay. The other one I wouldn't have guessed.
She just graduated like days ago from a local Nazareth college.
Big graduation, a couple of weekends.
So I get a call. Why? Yeah, I get a call on Friday because he works, but he could work from home. He's a fraud analyst for a company. And he's like, anybody works from like 11 a.m. till 8 p.m.
West Coast hours.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's West Coast hours.
So he says to me, hey, can you come over and take a look at what I need to hang curtains? I want to go into the plaster. It's an older place. I want to go into the plaster. And I'm like, you don't want to go into the plaster.
No.
You don't, because it's
a mess.
It's a mess. It's
And
cracks.
if you screw it up,
it's bad.
Yeah.
So
there goes your cleaning deposit.
he says to me, then I get a text. I talked to maintenance. They said, don't go into
The plaster.
the plaster. I go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
so
I'm your dad.
go into the wood on the trim. And he's like, okay, can you come over? I have a Lowe's gift card. Take my Lowe's gift card
Let's build something together.
and go to Lowe's and buy me what I need to hang curtains. And I'm like, I'm not going to Lowe's. So I go to
You more of a Home Depot guy?
Honestly, I'd rather go to a local hardware store. You know, I don't mind either one of those places. I have nothing against them.
Pat
I really
Summerall,
don't.
the local True Value store that had somebody's last name in front of it.
It's
Like back home, we had two of them.
yeah, there used to be Agway where I lived.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to a local hardware store near where he lived, and I said, I'm looking for. They sell curtain rods now for idiots that you can just tack them in. You just tack them in. That's all it is. You just, as a matter of fact, some of them come with teeth, and you just pop it down into the top of your molding, and there you go, done and done.
I just
Right?
thought of a phrase that I can't repeat.
What? Go ahead.
Curtain rods for.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I go there and I'm looking around. The guy goes, you know, hey, how can I help you? I go, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for this. And my kid is flipping out. He's getting himself worked up. I shouldn't say flipping out. Getting himself worked up because his girlfriend's parents are in town and they're going to come over. So now I get a call. Can you pick up some wine? So
Go on.
So I figure, okay, I'll go get wine, but I don't like what do they drink? What do they not drink? So I'm thinking, so now like his mom is also getting looped in on this by him, not by me, by him. And she's sending me text, please stay calm. And I'm like, why? What is this?
Bill.
And I'm about to lose it.
Bill.
But what is this narrative that I lose my mind?
Mad.
Okay, I had other things I was doing. No. So I say, so then I get a text going, they like sweet wine, but I'm already out of the liquor store. I go, listen, man.
Yeah, don't you hate that?
Well,
when you get the message back after you're gone?
I'm not an idiot. I bought a bottle of Cab and a bottle of Rosé.
Look at you, Billy Joel.
Rosé. Figuring Rosé is
Bottle of red.
yeah, and a bottle of light red.
Bottle of white.
So
Whatever helps Jordan through the night.
So so now I show up at his place and I say, here are the curtain rods I got. Now, not to be sounding like a jerk,
But
4 sets of curtain rods that you tack in cost me about $170.
Eee!
Right. That's all right.
That's before the wine.
That's before the wine. So I figured, no big deal, right? I'm not going to say anything.
I bought a weed whacker cheaper than that yesterday.
So now I say to him, you have a hammer? No. All right. I go, I'm going to have to run and buy a hammer now. I got to go buy I go, no, you don't. No. I go, get me a rock. Get anything. Just anything. These are tacks, bud. They're tacks. We can get them in. So he comes up with a wrench, and I spend a long time pounding with a wrench. Right? I feel like I'm FEMA coming into this place. I mean,
you Jimmy Carter.
Well, you know what I mean?
Habitat for Humanity.
I'm like,
you have to put in sweat equity into your son's apartment because his girlfriend's parents are in town.
Right. And here's the thing, like, and she's going to be moving in, and he wants it to look good. Look, I
not so collegey, more young professional.
Right.
Like you don't want posters on the wall, framed pictures.
Look, and the weird part to me is like, I go, you're a smart guy. You could figure this out. Like, you know, my dad's generation, they built garages and beat raccoons with shovels that tried to get in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? What happened?
I know.
What happened? I don't know. So I say to him when they're hung, right, the rod.
Oh.
I want the rod. Yes. I say, do you have curtains? What do you think the answer was? What do you think the answer was?
Oh, son of a pup! Now I gotta buy curtains.
Yeah, well, no, I don't have any. I ordered them, but they're not here, which I'm not sure I really believe. So he takes off to go buy curtains. Where would you go on a Friday at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, because that's his lunch break, to go get curtains? Where'd you go?
Like a Bed Bath and Beyond or something like that. And I know they're not open anymore, but a store like that, or a Michael's.
Yeah, or Home Goods.
Yeah, Home Good. There you go. Like something my wife would go to, where I would like, okay, throw it in the bag, throw it in the cart.
My man went to Dollar General. And I'm sure that this is all going to blow back on me. Why did you talk about this? Because it's funny and it's relatable and it's fine and it's not that big a deal.
You can buy an entire aisle for $20.
So he buys, but he's going, these were, I don't even know. I think he might have spent, because he's going, I can't believe I spent X. And I thought he said $75. Maybe. Is it possible at the Dollar General? Not everything's $1 anymore.
Well, you better have 75 items.
No, I think he
no, it's with inflation.
Curtains and things. So yeah. I'm not sure. So I'm like, and he keeps kind of saying, I go, look, dude, the curtain rods were $165 or $70. I go, don't, and he's like, oh, all right. And I go, and if you want to tack on the wine, he goes, well, thanks for the housewarming gift. I go, you're welcome. It's fine. Don't, because that was clear. I'm not paying you back kind of thing. And but I was only trying to put it in perspective for him to just say, these things do cost money. And you also shouldn't be doing it like this, because then when he takes the curtains out, they're too short for the window. And I go, yeah.
Flood curtains, my favorite.
So I go.
I'll tell you what, in his defense, if it weren't for my wife, I would have done the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah, curtains.
Yeah.
Honey, did you measure? Measure what?
His big thing. I'm eating. I'm sorry.
It's okay,
so
boy.
Dumb.
It's like Dennis Farina on Family Guy doing the tour of Chicago museums. I'm sorry, I'm just having a ham sandwich. It's my lunch. Anyway, getting back to our tour.
So look, I feel the pressure for him. I feel his pressure. Right? And I'm aware of it, right?
Yeah.
And his point is,
you feel the bubbling.
The daughter is going to move in here.
Mm-hmm.
Her parents live in the South. She's from a southern state.
Uh-oh.
No, we're fine.
Okay.
But he wants to make the place look presentable, right? Like she's not moving into some
love shack
or just a slum. You know what I mean? He's trying to make it look like it's somewhat adult. So I say,
Farish Apartments, somewhat adult.
yeah,
Where they used to do commercials with the dude just napping.
yeah,
Leave the artwork to somebody else.
right. So I say to him, do you have, I go, you're going to need something to tie these back. If you're going to leave them up and they're too short for the winter, we need to tie them back so they kind of drape and it'll look better.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. I said, the curtain rod things that I bought don't have anything. And I said, we could make something. I go, but all you need is if we just tack it in, you can tuck the curtain behind on the side of the molding and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, so they're kind of draped out. So we do that and he leaves. And then just before we start recording, I get a text that's very frantic saying, apparently the girlfriend came over and didn't like any of this. Thought the place looked like crap. So her parents were they bought an area rug, they bought new curtains and something else. And he's like, I'm embarrassed. And he's like, I don't really have any money. Is there any way you can offset this? And I go, bro, I just spent $200. I go, give me a number that they spent. So he throws it out. I go, we're in the ballpark, brother. We're in the ballpark. And I go, this may be you overreacting. That's their only kid. She's a lovely girl. They want to make sure she's happy.
Well, when you said she was from the South, there's certain expectations that go through my head.
Yeah, I think they're both northern people transplanted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not like Southern.
I
Like
don't.
Southern Bells.
I don't.
Cotillions.
I haven't met them, so I don't know. And look,
Spent a lot of time on a farm called a plantation.
Look, the apartment looked like a hostage video inside, right? It did. I mean, he's a guy. He's living by himself. And you can't invite adults or her parents over.
Jordan Zira.
When you have, like, your curtains look temporary. Everything looks
I
temporary.
will hold you hostage until you get me curtains.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I spent $200 to participate in this massive failure, apparently. So, you know what I mean? So now.
So the best purchase really was the wine.
Yeah, I guess. So now I'm like, so I write them and I'm already annoyed because I had gone, like, there's a Chipotle close by.
I give you credit for only being annoyed. It could go a lot further than that.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm somewhat amused by it all because I understand and I know, and I'll get into that in a second. But I go to Chipotle only because, by the way, Wegmans has started bowls now. Did you know this?
No.
They have a whole thing in the Wegmans down here. I went in there. I love, like, the protein bowl. It's simple. It's easy. I could just throw a bunch of, protein stuff in there and get it.
You got to weigh it, though, and it's probably like $80.
No, they make it for you.
Oh.
It is set up like
do it.
It is like a Chipotle.
Because they know somebody's going to get a little carried away.
They have a menu, and you order it, and it's like, I think it's actually cheaper. It is cheaper than Chipotle.
That's what Wegmans does. They copy pretty much everybody and make it awesome.
Well, they did. It was $5 cheaper, although I did get chips, and I think they charge you for the chips. So
yeah, that's where they get you.
Yeah,
the chips.
I guess. I haven't eaten any of them. But anyway, I walk up there, and now there's a line building behind me, and I say to the kid, he's hustling, one guy working, and one person standing at the register checking people out.
I've seen a lot of that lately.
Yeah, it's like, why did you get, well, whatever. So I say, hey, I'd like to have a chicken protein bowl. So he takes out this tiny thing that looks like you get your small dish ice cream in, right? And I'm already, I don't know why, I'm a little grumpy, and I go,
a little.
well, I just am today. Like, can you tell?
Oh yeah,
A little edgy.
Your countenance has been a little. Your countenance. Your countenance.
My countenance.
Your countenance is a little, like, amused but annoyed. That's the best way to explain it.
Okay. So
Not casting judgment.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Pulls out the Dixie cup thing, basically, right?
Mhm.
Looks like you can get a small dish ice cream at Abbott's. I go, what are you doing with that? He's like, what? I go, I want a bowl. He's like, all right, hang on. So now there's people piling up behind me.
Right, of course.
Mom, a daughter.
Meanwhile, one dude running the stand, the other one just running the register.
So he's talking to somebody, and he says, he's going, and the person is saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea, to him. And now I'm getting annoyed, more annoyed. And I go, hey, just give me one of those right there. I point to the dish. He goes, oh. I go, put rice, put chicken, and let's go. And then I go, add this, boom, out. I get up to the register, and the girl's like, I know online we have those, and I don't know. There's pre-made cards that tell you all the bowls. And I go, okay, well, no one knew about it. She's like, yeah, I don't know why. And I'm like, I don't either. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't care. But I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, you advertise the stuff, have your people know about it. If they don't know about it, then, just go, whatever. It was the strangest thing when I said, I want a protein bowl, and he pulls out. I was like, okay. And then I come in here, and then all this other stuff started. And I feel like I get it with my kid. You're nervous. You want to impress her parents, right? You want to be a good guy. You don't want your apartment to look like whatever,
like an apartment.
Well, look, they walk in like they're assessing storm damage, maybe as they walk around. You know what I mean? So, okay, so and they seem cool, and he's just like, so he's texting me. We went here, now we're over at this place. We're getting light bulbs, and I said, all right. I go, just find out if they want the money. I go, what is happening? I ordered a coffee table and she doesn't like it. And I go, well, welcome to adulthood, bro. Welcome to living with somebody. And he's like, I told her we should do it
together.
Look at it first before, but she's just saying it. And I'm like, I go, buddy. And this is where I think everybody, what happened?
Oh,
what are you doing? You're looking around like something.
No, nothing.
You're just thinking. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just turning the wheels.
Okay.
Because in a way, I'm kind of empathizing with Jordan.
Yes, me too.
Because I've been here in two different instances.
Me too. Well, okay. So,
my thought that you just saw me have was my ex-wife versus my current wife on how we would have handled these situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Current wife, my wife.
Right.
She would have had this all figured out before I got there. Ex-wife, I could empathize with Jordan. And I'm not saying this girl's like the ex-wife.
This
I'm just saying,
at all.
it's just something. No. I'm just saying that was the thought that went in my head.
I think that, and it's hard to do when you're young.
Yes.
And a young man.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to balance a full-time job. He's also wrapping up grad school. He got a 4.0 this semester.
See?
Beat me.
Do you guys have a competition?
No, well, I'm always in competition with whomever.
Yeah, I know.
But I got a 3.92. He got a 4.0. So, amazing, right? I never said what I got because I didn't want to turn it into that. I was just very, very happy, pleased for him.
Yeah.
So
we all want our kids to do better than us, except Bill.
That's not true.
I'm joking.
So you're balancing that. You're balancing a full-time job, and you're trying to keep a social life, and your girlfriend is just graduating college. I feel like it's almost unfair to her to not be able to step back and realize this is the culmination of 4 years that she lived with people, that she really bonded with them. It's she was in a theater program where, people who are artsy, just a little more feeling of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they have a little more bonding.
More emotions.
And so it's like a big week. There were lots of celebrations.
A lot of goodbyes.
Yeah. And Fisher did it.
Oh, dude, the day after I graduated from college was one of the worst days of my life, man. It sucked.
Yeah.
Everybody moved home.
Yeah.
It was raining. It was Mother's Day. I'm like, man, this sucks. My roommate took the TV. I had to go buy a new one.
Did you move home?
No.
Oh, me neither.
I stayed in Rochester.
So my point is, you can't ask her, come over and tell me if you want this coffee table that Amazon's going to let me pretend to put in my living room with a picture and see what it looks like. That's not where her head's at.
No.
It's not even close. And you're not, you know what I mean? And I want to go, you're not that you're not being respectful. You are, but you need to kind of step back at times and realize, try to look at the bigger picture. I think, but I know that as a guy who's in his mid 50s,
yes,
and not a guy who's in his early 20s.
You're 30 years removed from that.
100%.
And Jordan had to live that and experience that to learn that. And the only way he would have learned that is by experiencing that. I would have been the same way. So I can't kill him for that.
Yeah, and I almost said this.
The curtains, though, was a little funny, but
I know. So and then he's like, Pan, he goes, well, maybe I'm overthinking it. I said, he goes, I swear I heard them say something about offsetting the cost. And I said, I would be happy to just tell me what you want. I go, what? We're already in the ballpark here. I said, because those curtain rods, and I went to a local hardware store. Maybe they charge more. I don't know. I didn't care. But if your apartment can collapse when company's coming over, you're camping. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, this isn't good enough. Like, we got to do stuff. And so we're like, throwing shit at the wall. I go, basically, you're camping indoors. So, because there were not curtains, and he's been there for a couple months, I think, or at least 2. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't bothering him.
I lived an entire year once without curtains. I mean, or blinds.
You're a dude. I get it. She wasn't there a lot. She had her own house that she was living in with a bunch of her roommates off the Park Avenue, whatever. But I'm like, this is just part of growing up. This is just what you got to do. So I'll have to see what the ATM has to spit out later, if anything. And I don't even mean to. And I'm sure that he'll hear this, or his mom will hear this. And I don't mean it that way. It's somewhat amusing. It's kind of one of those life milestones, and you just sort of learn as you go. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, the experience is the best teacher sometimes.
Sure.
And so, I mean, I got a hell of an education from my first marriage and other experiences in life. And so, I mean, sometimes that's the best way to learn it. I mean, there's things that I do that my wife goes, what were you thinking? What was going through your head? And I go, well, we needed it. She goes, yeah, but okay, yesterday we went to buy a weed whacker. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. And I'm thinking I'm doing my research, online, looking for the best weed whacker at the best price. That's very durable, efficient, battery operated. I don't want to have to use gas or any of that stuff. And so I think I got it figured out. And my wife's looking at other things that I'm not even considering. Thank God she was there, and we got it right. And we got a nice deal. It came with a blower, but it's like, because my wife does it. My neighbors, I mow my landlord's lawn. Yeah. We live in one big house. It's 2-sided. And he's got one of those weed whackers that you have, like a push mower. Well, those things are heavy. And my wife doesn't like using it. I go, let's just buy a weed whacker. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You can get really into doing weed whacking when you really want to. And she was like measuring things and looking at things that I never considered, just because she has a different walk of life, a different perspective.
Does it bother you a little bit? Does it make you feel...
It doesn't bother me, but it makes me realize how much I have to learn about things still at 46 years old.
Yeah, but does it make you feel emasculated at all?
No, not emasculated.
I just see guys feeling it. Okay, all right, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't consider that. Or I play along with it. Yeah, you're right. We need to do. I'm glad you thought. Yeah, I'm glad you see what I see.
Yeah. No, you just I don't even know what to say. I'm not in any of those relationships anymore, so I don't know. I have no idea. Danny, new segment. This is called What It's Worth, and it is presented by Premier Metal.
Oh,
Premier Metal.
Are we going to play that song by Stephen Stills behind it? There's something happening here.
Yeah. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How often are you wrong about what something's worth?
Oh, man, I grew up watching The Price is Right.
That's amazing.
Often.
Okay. Well, most people are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will look at a pile of metal and think junk.
Yeah.
Got to get rid of it, man.
Of course.
Out.
Yeah, especially when your wife's like, hey, Jordan, can we get this junk out of here?
What do you mean? Those are my clothes. Old rims, car parts, wire, tools, stuff sitting around in the garage,
bottles,
the basement, maybe even your backyard shed. Who knows? This is the time of year people start clearing it out. Premier Metal looks at that same pile and they give you a number of what they'll pay you for it.
Oh,
yeah.
So you
got it right there on the spot. And honestly, the same thing happens in life all the time. We undervalue things constantly, like all the time. And until the right person recognizes the value, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what somebody's going to pay for it. So that's what Premier Metal does every single day. Honest weights, competitive pricing, fast payment. That's what happens. If you've got scrap sitting around, you might be a lot closer to cash than you think.
Or maybe a Dollar General curtain rod. That doesn't work.
Maybe. Or Dollar General curtains that don't go all the way down. I'm like, hey, bud, don't close the curtains and then walk around with your pants off, because all they're going to see is, like, from the balls, from the, the waist down.
Yeah.
Premier Metal, you'll find them at 909 West Linden Avenue in East Rochester, and also at 11 Carn Street in Rochester. And if you have a little time, you can write down this number, 585-436-4020. That's 585-436-4020 for the Premier Metal Group. Our friend Greg Connors was going to be joining us today.
I was looking forward to that.
I know. He had some things unexpectedly family-related pop up, so we'll catch up with him another time. But I do want to tell people, Greg says,
Hi.
live every... That's not
My wife says hi to Greg, too.
okay.
And you.
Okay. No. Live every day like it's your birthday.
Yes.
And on Saturday, if you are in Fairport, New York, over at Iron Smoke,
Or even if you're not, but you want to come to Fairport.
Greg will be celebrating his birthday, and the band Trist will be playing, open to everybody, and it's a fundraiser.
First drink's on you, the listener.
But it should be a good time. Saturday night, Iron Smoke.
Cool.
Right there in the cannery, the old cannery. You know, Danny, I was thinking a lot because Greg was going to come in, and we know about his passion for football.
Yes.
And we know about your passion for football.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say there are cities with football teams.
Yeah.
And then there's Buffalo,
Yes.
where grown men organize their emotional stability around a 3rd and 7 in November. Is that fair?
Oh, that is
that
more
fair?
than fair.
Yeah.
If you could be more than fair, that would be more than fair.
They've become therapy, right? For men.
Yeah.
Like men. Yeah. Identity. Right. It's in a way. I mean, could you call it a religion?
Oh gosh, yes.
Family tradition.
There's a comic who does this great joke. I forgot his name. He goes, sports talk radio has become like talk therapy for most men now.
Oh yeah.
Guy goes,
oh no.
Hey Mike, call about the Yankees, and do you ever get sad?
I saw that. I forget who that is. I thought that was one of the funniest bits I had seen in a while. It's like, we've been avoiding therapy for years. We call it talk sports radio. Hey, Mad Dog.
Yeah.
You ever feel down?
Yeah. Hey, do you ever wonder if Aaron Judge and you were looking at the same sky?
But it's so funny because, even Greg, he's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a guy, a respected businessman,
Lawyer,
attorney,
Esquire,
who owns his own practice,
yes,
or partners in a practice, and
has his own commercials,
and has
in the stadium,
has, I guess you could say, franchised it because it's in Buffalo, Syracuse, New York City.
Yeah.
Right. And then sponsors the training camp at St. John Fisher University, which is fantastic, and it's been there for years. And he's one of the reasons he keeps coming back. He puts in a lot of money to make that happen.
He does.
And one dropped pass on a Sunday.
Oh, dude.
And
this is how it works. If you ever
it's
go
like
to
he just lost a lawsuit.
if you ever go to his house,
yeah,
I know what he's like at the stadium.
Oh, it's close.
Okay, but
he'll high five you so hard that he practically knocks you 2 rows over.
He'll need Tommy John surgery,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's a great host, right? So when the Bills are up, he's usually in more of an upbeat mood, right? So, like, if you go to Greg's, you want to make sure they're up a touchdown or two before you walk in, because if they are, hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, James goes, what the heck?
Yeah.
What?
That's just
What?
true.
He goes from like 0 to 60 and back down to 0.
It's like he lost a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect to
Danny,
happen.
what happened?
If he got,
Cook fumbled the
if
ball.
they lost the thing. But look, here's the weird part. In Western New York, a grown man cries over divorce, and we say, "Get yourself together,
Right.
pull it together."
It's okay, but you got to get over it.
Right? You have career struggles. We tell you to man up.
Man up. You got to get over it.
Josh Allen misses a deep ball on a Sunday.
WTF.
Now we all understand. Now we all understand. They're like the last socially acceptable emotional release for men,
Yes.
in a way.
That's how we get it out, ladies. Football.
Yeah.
But then
And you would say,
we just replace our old problems with what we think are our problems,
Yes.
new problems, the Bills' problems, and then we just end up with more problems.
listen, I'll tell you this, because I did not grow up in this area.
No.
I came here
You grew up in Giants country.
right at the end of like the Bills' 4 Super Bowls. Buffalo Bills fans talk about those losses like it's Vietnam.
Dude.
I mean, they go back, man. There's napalm. I mean, it's like a non-vet recounting his time in
I
Saigon.
cried after all 4
Like,
of those.
oh my God.
I was 10, 11, 12, and 13 years old when they lost those games. My brother Ryan was born 9 months exactly to the day after Wide Right.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so Dad got laid that night.
Yeah. Mom had to cheer him up. Next thing you know, we're getting a brother.
Yeah. Oh, your dad wasn't wide, right?
He used to tell us, I'll be old and gray and still keep going. I'm like, okay, Dad, great, thanks.
I don't know.
He had kids over 22 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
How many years does a Super Bowl loss take off a marriage? I'm just curious. Because I got to think. There's been a few.
Well, the Super Bowl win, if you remember the year that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, they did the Super Bowl baby. No, it wasn't that. It was a few years after. Maybe it was the year the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They did the Super Bowl babies commercial. In other words, everybody who was born because their parents had relations the night of the Super Bowl after their team had won.
Yeah.
Remember they did the Super Bowl babies
Yep.
commercial. People thought, oh, that's kind of gross. But the divorce thing, I'd like to see that commercial after a Super Bowl loss. Like, whose Super Bowl loss cost them their marriage or their relationship?
Absolutely. Hey, look, I'll tell you, here's what I think about, like, when I listen to, if I ever pop on a sports radio show, and I freaking love it. But I will say that Bills fans trust a weather app less than Sal from Cheektowaga, who was at the game and swears he saw the ref, right?
Yeah.
About to throw a flag and then pull it back because somebody was talking in his ear saying,
they got to him.
Yeah,
Somebody in New York.
that's it.
That's
what I'm saying.
Somebody at 345 Park Avenue got in his ear. And he was going to pull that flag out, and he put his hand to his ear. I saw it from the fourth row in section 215.
Sal from Cheektowaga. Go ahead, Sal. It's like, I just, it's.
Yeah, thanks, Bill, for taking my call. 2 points real quick and then a question.
I don't know why. I have always found that so entertaining. And in a snobbish way, I guess you almost feel like you're above that. I don't get as involved in that stuff.
Buffalo callers are the worst.
No, they're. See, now stop it.
Dude, they don't add anything.
How do you.
As someone who screened well over 10,000 calls for your show and several others, I got to say this about Rochester callers. They're either bright or they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay. They're one or the other. They're not bad. If they're a bad call, we just make fun and move on. In Buffalo, like, I have never heard a call. Maybe occasionally a guy will make a good point, but for the most part, the calls are very just, yeah.
Tony from Tonawonda's on the line. Hey, Tony, what do you need?
I think the Sabres gave up. I think this is an actual call. Now, at the time we're taping this, the Sabres went to Montreal.
And they won.
And they 8-3.
I know.
Which is like winning like a football game, like 56-21.
Well, they were losing 3-2.
They were down 3-2. But the same thing happened with the Canadiens two nights earlier. Canadiens are down 3-2.
I'm not going to be able to see the game.
And
next game.
And they scored 4 straight unanswered goals and won. And so, but after the loss, it was like, yeah, I think Tage just gave up. I don't think he wants to play. And the host is like, you think so? You think that's what happened? You think he gave up? I don't know what Lindy's doing behind that bench. He ain't saying nothing. I mean, these are the calls that you get in sports radio.
Yeah.
There's no insight. It's just guys venting and thinking they're smart when the reality is there's something else going on in their lives that they need to straighten out, and they're taking it out on some sports team.
Hey, what's the number to Greg Connors? I want to know if he can sue the secondary. And by the way, I would like to claim loss and damage due to wide right almost 40 years ago. Right? I mean, this is what and in a way, it's,
when the Dallas Cowboys gave me cancer, I know who to turn to.
Don't do it.
I call Connors and Ferris.
Well,
Tom Ferris got me a great deal.
As I think about things, and you bring up the Sabres, who had a unexpected run.
Yes,
I'm not.
Dude, nobody expected the Sabres to make the playoffs, let alone like turn it around.
Yeah.
When they did. Yeah. In early December, they fire their general manager.
They've got some really lucky goals. They got a lucky goal in the last.
There was so many fluke goals. That's
amazing.
Hockey to me is like soccer on ice. It's an obstacle course. It's like you need so much. You need so much skill and so much strength because the game is just nothing but tricks.
Yeah. A lot of movement.
Let's put you on an obstacle course and see if you can do it.
Yeah.
That's how it's so they make it look so graceful, but it's really a sloppy game.
But I was thinking about, like, what sports have become is a place for people to gather. It's become almost like the modern campfire in a way.
Yeah, it's the one place we all get along. Well, if we're on the same team.
No, I know, but
yeah,
like
we come together.
There are fewer churches. right? I mean, no, I'm not trying to be funny.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying, what? Why are you laughing?
More stadiums.
Well, it's not what I meant. More bars, but there are fewer clubs. There are fewer neighborhood gatherings, right? And it's kind of, you're right. It's a like-minded community, but it's fun to go to a place and watch with other like-minded people. It just makes it fun. And I think that socialization, sports provides that many places aren't anymore. And so that's why it's more fun than sitting in your own living room, unless you're with your kids and stuff and family, maybe, but in your own living room than it is to go possibly to the local pub and cheer them on. It's a lot of fun. I always hesitate because I like going to the games, but I also don't like going to the games.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's just like,
the game itself.
Yeah.
I've always compared, especially when the Bills were bad. I said, guys, going to a Bills game is like going to a wedding in reverse. Okay. You got your outfit, right? It's going to cost you a lot of money. You're going to get there real early, but the reception is going to start and you're going to have a big party and you don't know if the bride and the groom are going to end up getting married at the end of the night.
Right.
And if a loss is like, oh, she jilted him or he jilted her. Oh, I spent all this money and got this suit and got him a card, and now I got to drive 3 hours back home in traffic after I had, like, in some cases, some people, 2 12-packs.
Yeah, I know.
Wedding in reverse, Billy.
But it brings together, but when you think, yes, it is. And kind of like a wedding, too. You can meet people you didn't know.
Yeah.
Strangers become friends. Fathers, sons, daughters, families, moms, all coming together. It's, bars full of people. What do? They hug. Some people hug when the team does well, or it's collective misery. But even that, you're not alone. And that's I see that for sports, and I think it's one of the great things. And it's also entertaining to hear, Tony from Tonawanda call in and have his.
Hey, Sal, I had a question about the secondary. Why would you draft a corner if you already got 2 corners to start? I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah. I'll hang up and listen. That's always like the greatest line.
First time, long time, Bill.
So we haven't talked a lot about the Bills in the upcoming season and Josh Allen, and there hasn't been a whole lot of national sports talk about the Bills other than the
Thank
Kansas
you, Patriots. Thank you, Mike Vrabel. Thank you, Diana Rossini.
I still feel bad about that. I know. I just do. I know I shouldn't, and I may. Oh, hang on. I don't know that I shouldn't, but I know that people look at it differently than I do. And there's a piece of me that's just like, hey, man, I mean, I can understand where you find somebody who kind of gets you or gets what you're doing, and then it just goes too far.
It can happen to any of us.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a real thin line. And so it's easy to say, whatever, because I mean, Diana Rossini, she's not an Instagram model. And I'm not trying to be rude.
She's good looking.
She's good looking, but she's on television.
Yes.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, like, she's not inappropriately dressed. And,
there's some of these sideline reporters like, whoa. What's going on here?
Now it's going to be really cold today. I needed to wear.
You don't need the Doppler. Look what I got.
Bing, bing. Yeah, I saw, but you're right. And then I know with the schedule out, what are they playing? 3 times on Monday night?
Yes.
And then Kansas City is coming to Buffalo on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
My kid wants to get an.
And then you go to Denver for Christmas.
Trying to get me to go get an Airbnb and celebrate Thanksgiving in Buffalo.
Well, who's paying for this?
Paying for what?
The tickets and all that other stuff.
What do you think?
Billy Big Bucks, the Federal Reserve. Hey, can you get me a couple tickets too, please?
No, I'm not doing it. I just said that. This is what, it's a kid. I get it.
By the way, my boss has got an Airbnb if you're interested.
Really?
A nice one, too.
Really?
Right on the lake.
Really?
About 15 minutes from the stadium.
Come on.
I'm not joking.
Oh, maybe I have to.
He'll get you a deal. You're about the same age.
I'll have to get have to look into that.
No, I'm serious. He actually had a house in the market that he almost sold to Trey White.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this.
But yeah, I mean, the Bills, a lot of people are like, oh, that schedule looks tough. Well, you knew who they're going to play. You got to put them somewhere, right? But the Bills have, like, arguably one of the best net rest edges of any team in football, maybe football history. The Bills and the Bears this year have the best net rest edges. In other words, they're playing a ton of teams on short rest, and the Bills aren't playing anybody coming off a bye or on they're playing a couple teams on like short rest, like quick weeks, but the Bills have like no one's feeling bad for them. They're going to get a lot of breaks this season.
I didn't see any Thursday night. Is there Thursday night? I would assume
the home opener's a Thursday night against Detroit.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the following.
Yeah.
Week
so
two.
they got a quick turnaround after the Texans game, the opener.
Right.
And then then they get their time off before they get. I mean, but schedule's going to be tough no matter what. Look, this is what you signed up for, guys.
Right.
You want to be good? This is what's going to happen. You want to fire your head coach and keep the GM?
Yeah.
Who couldn't put the roster together? This is what's going to happen.
You, being a Bills fan.
Yes.
I mean, what did you say you're signing up for? This is what you signed up for?
This is what you signed up for, fellas and ladies.
Basically, you have signed up for seasonal turbulence with an occasional chicken wing. That's what you got.
Right.
That's what you got.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Catch your chicken wings.
And by the way, it's kind of fun. Like seeing the Sabres come back, there's something happening. Like the whole place.
Oh, dude, I do not want to be anywhere near Buffalo on Monday.
Yeah,
win or lose.
Right, but again, the collectiveness, people outside,
the
arenas, watching on the big screen,
beating up the dummies dressed up as Canadians.
It's just.
We've gone from tables to dummies.
Yeah. Look, and it's fun because I'm going to say that Bills, and now we'll add in Sabres fans, they participate in these sports.
Oh, there's a big chunk in the Venn diagram of Bills and Sabres.
Yeah, but fans. I mean, it's the emotional weathering of these sports that wears them down over the years, and but it's fun. And Greg is very passionate, and I know that his partner Tom Ferris is a big supporter and lover of the Buffalo.
Well, Tom is to the Sabres what Greg is to the Bills.
Yeah, slightly less vocal, maybe, but certainly
more reserved.
Yes, a little more.
But
reserved.
his passion's hockey.
Oh, absolutely. And
Greg's is football.
Yeah, and I think I know Greg was up at one of the games, so. Yeah. All right, we'll take a moment.
Go Bills, go Sabres.
Oh, and go Tony from Tonawanda.
Tony from Tonawanda. Hey Sal, I heard you got fired from the post-game show. That was another freaking mess that nobody understood.
What?
Did you hear about this?
What?
The Buffalo Bills switched radio affiliates.
Oh, yeah.
It's just business. They didn't fire anybody. No. So now Steve Tasker is doing the sidelines.
Okay.
Why? Because they're not going to, Cumulus now has the rights to the Bills.
Yeah.
Odyssey used to have the rights to the Bills.
Yeah.
The sideline reporter works for Odyssey. So Cumulus is not going to use Odyssey's sideline reporter.
Right.
But everybody's acting like the sideline guy who they love, and we all know, got fired.
No.
And he's like, yeah, I just want to thank everybody for all my years. Nobody got fired. It's just it was a business move.
Well, it's important that you explain that because I think it is one of these things.
People think he got fired. He didn't get fired. No.
And I'm pretty sure that the play-by-play guys are not. They're Buffalo.
The play-by-play guys and Tasker all work for the Bills. They're just switching affiliates. But Cumulus in Buffalo, they have no sports guys.
Yeah.
They don't have a sports station. Well, they do, but it's syndicated. So but it really everyone's acting like the sideline guy got fired. No, he didn't get fired. He's going to be at the games and stuff. He's just not going to be on the sidelines because they went with another network.
Yep.
This isn't hard, guys.
Danny. All right, we'll take a moment and be right back. Welcome back. Lou from Liverpool, you're on the line.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for taking my call, Bill. Two things. I want to make a point about the Sabres and the Bills, and then I had a question about the Buffalo Bandits, if I could get that in there.
It's just so funny when you listen. And it's around the country. It's the same
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing. It's
I always prided myself on screening the calls that we took and working with the callers. Like, they don't even do that anymore. They just, what do you want to talk about, Sabres? All right, hold on.
they don't.
They don't screen the calls. Call screening is such a lost art, and you can tell. And here's the thing: the hosts don't care; they just want to kill 4 hours. Lines are open.
Yeah,
yeah, I could tell why, because your show sucks.
Somebody gets so worked up. I think.
Do you know why?
Yes, I do know why.
Okay,
I do know why, and I feel bad about that. To be honest with you.
Don't feel bad. I make more money now than I ever did.
I know, but I think that you feel like you were really wronged by radio.
Not wronged. I wasn't wronged by radio. I own 100% of responsibility. I just was in some situations where it just wasn't work. The only way I would have made it is if I had to leave and go somewhere else to do it, and I didn't do that. So that's on me. Yeah,
I think that's for a lot of people. I get it. I mean, I loved it, but I wanted to. It's interesting how things come around almost evolutionarily, I guess you would say. But I always wanted to own. That was part of the reason. I don't know if I ever really talked about this, but I had put together a deal with my agent to have them pay us one lump sum.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who was local at the time got elevated to be part of the national team for this company we were working for. And he pulled me in his office and goes, that'll never happen while I'm in charge. So he told me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wanted was independence from them. I wanted independence from them, and I wanted to be able to own it, operate it. We say who's on the show. We say who works on it. We decide who gets the money. We decide if somebody gets more money or less money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that, I wanted that decision.
That was the company that you and I worked for.
Yes.
Okay. Not the company you went to after.
No.
Okay.
So the company I went to after, at the time, they were proposing that model to me with Tommy to come over. And
anybody else?
Well, again, if we got what we wanted, I was taking.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm taking our guys, but then you wouldn't be contracted to them; you'd be contracted to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then we would have the freedom then to like syndicate and stuff. So that was my whole modality. That guy went down, and I got a. So I always think like people are blowing smoke up my ass, whatever, blah 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 blah. And then my agent calls and goes, "No, I saw the deal." And he's on his, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I saw that. Yeah, this was real. This was real. I didn't talk about it because all of a sudden there was a hiring freeze at the other company and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I signed for one more year to stay where I was. And then that year it was like, I just was pissed. I was just pissed all year. And so I left, and I didn't even think really about my move properly. I just wanted out, which is like my probably one of my biggest things. I hate always sounding like I'm beating a drum and going over and over and over again, but I have learned so much about myself and what these patterns have meant for a while. Sometime I maybe I'll do it now. Just in terms of like, you're looking for an exit and you'll take whatever place it is to land without looking at it and understanding, oh, this isn't a helicopter pad on the top of the building. This is a helicopter pad in a fucking pit. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And that's where you're going to land. And so that was it. But then somehow through the luck that I have, I wind up in LA for a minute to interview, and they think that I'm leaving. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then it's like, I say I'm not because of the money. and they go, okay, great, we'll have you do this, and we wanted to try this and that, and I knew when it was all going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But you also knew what you were making money wise, and that they're not going to pay that for somebody who's just doing X.
Right.
So that was, and in the end, it was all fine. It was all fine. I'm not sad. A lot of people say to me, like, I think somebody said to me the other day, I thought you were that Bill Moran, but I wasn't sure. And I said, yeah. And then but I don't have any regrets. I really don't. I like what we're doing here. I like the way it's going. I like my vision of where I want to go. And now the thing is like focusing on that and staying true to that, because I was thinking about this earlier today, how much I self-sabotage on things.
We all do.
Well, no, but I mean, I really, and I remember, I'll say his name, Todd Halliday. I was doing the Wham Morning News with him. I was so hungover from some party that we were at company wise that I could hardly, I think I wound up throwing up that day in the bathroom. I mean, it was bad. And he said to me, I've never seen someone with so much talent work against themselves. And I was like, ooh. And Todd was that was just like, he was frustrated. It was off the top of his head. And I'm like, ooh. And, I can't disagree with those things. And sometimes you try to figure out, why are these things the way they are, and where does it start from, and what's the bullshit? And I was asked or suggested to me by my therapist, my counselor, I don't know, that I actually write about my experience being molested and really look at that, because I've talked about it for years, but I don't know that I've ever really dealt with it. It was surface stuff. So I sat down actually today, and maybe that's part of the reason I was in a little bit of a grumpy mood, and I started writing about what that was like and what happened. But again, you're older and you're almost 50 years past it. You know what I mean? So, but I started thinking about how it was like, I almost feel like, and this sounds really weird, that I had I like fell in love with that person. I didn't, but there was an attachment. There was we shared a secret. I was 7. I didn't know, but we shared a secret. And he knew, like, if my dad found out, he goes, you know how mad your dad gets? And I was close with his younger brother. And he goes, if you want to still play with my brother, you're going to have to, don't say anything. So these are things that are said. And I'm not trying to bring anything down. My point was that what I'm realized is that as I'm writing, I'm like, oh my God, so this was probably a very good looking twin, right? He had a twin brother, good looking guy who was extremely popular. He graduated high school probably in the early 80s, like 82, and still lived in the area, did a lot of roofing things, had an engineering degree. Got it. I think his brother went to RPI. I think he went to a SUNY school, but he had a degree. And he would still show up at, different places, and all the girls had a crush on him. So he was still tight with an English teacher at the school who was the chaperone or advisor or whatever for the ski club. So we're all waiting for the bus, and he shows up. He's going to come with us. And I just remember like being really excited that he was there. And I remember running up and like jumping on his back and practically knocking him over. And part of the reason was, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I guess they needed everybody to know that the person they had a crush on, I was closer to than they would ever be. But I wasn't. But in my mind, I was, because we shared a secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
We shared this intimate bonding thing. So because of that, and I can see how that has played out in other relationships for me, where what I associate as a secret, unfortunately, sex of any kind, right, is what has really then connected me to a person. Like, we shared this secret. We have this secret bond. Again, fucked up thinking, right? I mean, fucked up. But I really do think that that's how I always thought. And so there was guilt associated with that, right? Because it was a secret. I always felt guilty. So I stayed too long in relationships that I shouldn't have been in because I shared the secret. And I would be guilty to leave. That's what I'm thinking it was, you know, because I'm going, wow, yeah, that is.
It's a pattern.
Well, exactly. And then like this quick emotional bonding, like a deeper connection for me than it may be for the other person because we did something that was secret.
Right.
And it's really not secret. And you can see it now as you're older. You're like, what the fuck? Well, that's so stupid.
You didn't, but
no. But what I'm saying is I really believe, like, I think that's kind of the underlying thing that I'm seeing is like sex to me was like this dirty little secret. And if you had it with somebody, you needed to kind of, well, now you were connected, right? Because this guy at 7 did this to me and he and I were connected or had me do these things to him is really what it was. And because of that, and so I really think, I don't know how we got here. It's my fault, but
yeah, I don't either.
We
were talking about radio.
We were talking about radio, and I was saying to you, like, just in terms of, I've noticed things about myself, and I don't feel bad about the radio thing, but I'm starting to see patterns of things that have held me back from doing things. Like I too probably should have left and gone to another radio station or somewhere in the country. Who knows what could have happened? I mean, I had somebody say to me, Bill could have been Bobby Bones or better, but he couldn't keep his pants on. That was said on a radio show. Fucking my world exploded in that moment. And but they're not exactly wrong. Why? Well, go back, because when the pants came off, we shared a secret, and now we had to stay together. Right or wrong, good or bad. It was like, oh no, we got this. And that's a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around, right? And go, ooh, yeah, wow, that is kind of effed up.
Yeah.
That's strange. Well, back to you, bitter man. I know you get frustrated when you hear other sports radio guys.
I just think there's better ways to do it.
That's
I know.
all. I know.
And
I think you could.
Here's what really, I wrote a column about this, right? Bill's schedule comes out Thursday. And I understand when you're a young reporter or a young media member and you have a family, that the holidays demand, like your job demands a lot out of you, but at least you get Thanksgiving, Christmas,
right,
New Year's off. Well, this year with the Bills schedule, you have to work Thanksgiving in Orchard Park and Christmas in Denver. Okay. So you're not going to be home for at least you're not going to be home for Christmas with your kids because you got to be in Denver covering a football game. And a lot of guys are like, yeah, I could do 1, but 2, are you kidding me? And my whole thought, I actually responded to a couple and said, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
But you don't have.
This is, hold on. But hear me out on this one, though. Nobody hearing this podcast, with the exception of very few people, could say, I've never had to work a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay. And most of us who've had to work a holiday had to do something we didn't want to do on that holiday. We didn't get to do something we set out for our entire lives and dreamt about to do. Their passion. Oh no, I had to go pump gas or wash dishes or get up at 3:00 in the morning and produce an AM morning show or whatever. You know, I mean, I got into radio to be on the air, but you know, it was paying your dues, and that's okay. That's fine. But nobody, not my parents, my grandparents, who all had to do the same thing, ever bitched about it one time. And these guys are on X going, well, and hold on. I know that like I sound like bitter. I go, I get it, guys. I get it. Hate it all you want. I'm sorry. I get where they're coming from. Number one, you're not the first to have to do it. Second, it's not going to be the last time you do it. And third, you get to go cover an NFL team that's winning, not a garbage football team from the drought era. You get to go cover Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. You know, the kids and the family, they'll be there waiting for you when you get home. It's okay not to like it. I get it. But to complain about it, nobody wants to hear that.
I think
it's like first world problems to like the power of 10.
Yeah, I guess. Here would be my thing is, I can totally understand if you have young kids because they're young ones, and Christmas is special. Like the kid that I'm buying curtains for and is having all these things. He was the greatest on Christmas morning because everything was like, it's exactly what I wanted.
I know.
And then he got a guitar and he's sitting there and he's going, hey, diddle, diddle, cat in the fiddle. He's just playing it and it's fun. And you're never going to get those moments again. And if you're not there for that, it's hard. I understand that. I can see where you see it as it's a great privilege to be able to do this with a team that's now winning,
right? And
they get the Christmas day because it's a primetime game and they're at night, right? They're the last game of the day, I believe, and all that stuff is extra, right? And you would love to be part of that, but
family can wait.
Well, I think everybody else. I think that everybody who's ever had that has complained. They just didn't have the social media to do it on.
Well, that's my point. Like
right.
you might be,
so now,
you're telling like your wife or something. Man, I gotta work on
right. Like, or you're right, or
you're not like holding a press
really
conference to complain about it.
You can be really upset, but I mean, every minor inconvenience these days
is online.
It's a full psychological crisis. You used to spill coffee, you carried on with your day. Now you get pictures, my shirt,
right?
Because and maybe everybody felt the same. We just didn't know it. We carried ourselves a little different.
That's what I'm saying. You could feel all.
Yes.
You could hate it all you want. I don't need to hear about it.
Yes.
I don't need to hear about it. And I know guys who missed the births of children had to cover sporting events.
Yes.
That's a tragedy.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, it's
not a tragedy, but it
sucks.
Yes,
it's not,
that's awful.
But I would say too, like all these minor inconveniences now are treated as though they're a trauma.
Oh my gosh,
as though
we are so spoiled.
Yeah. So I
hate me all you want. We are such wussies when it comes to that stuff.
I would say that, and I sometimes worry that I'm like overstating and I'm doing it somewhat to be funny, but I also understand that people used to just be annoyed. Now we're having a nervous system reaction. Well, we always had a nervous system reaction, but somehow we didn't talk about it. Now we're able to talk about things a little bit more, which allows us to talk about mental health, which is actually, I think, a very good thing. But everything comes along with that. And just like anything in life, you got to sift through some garbage to find the gems, so to speak. You know what I mean? Look, I complained about Chipotle not knowing what they were doing. Is that a crisis? No. Did I really care? Absolutely not. I did not. You're telling a story behind a situation. Yes, but my point is, someone could see that as the same thing, right? Same complaining. And I know with this, it is a bigger deal when you have the kids to miss Christmas. That would really kind of stink. I'm not saying it doesn't. It would stink. You know, but there are the Christmases where I've missed my nieces and nephews. I didn't get to see them. It's happened a lot. I mean, there were 3 straight years where my brother Joel's kids were sick. Yeah. It's like I didn't see him on Christmas, but that stinks. Well, we'll call him, we'll talk to him. It's not the end of the world. I got my wife, I got other people in my life, and you know what? We'll get through it. And to be honest with you, I actually enjoy. See, here's the other thing too. I enjoy watching football on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Yes, me too. And I love the idea of a Thanksgiving Eve game and a Black Friday game because guess what? What else are you doing in Western New York? Nothing. Yeah. Right. And if you want to do something else, go do something else. Yes. Football is not the sun in your life. No. But we treat it like that. Well, and that's kind of sick. Well, it is. Yes. That's kind of what the NFL is designed to do over years. You don't have to watch. No, you don't have to watch. But I look. Next time the Bills play in England on a Sunday morning at 9:30, you know where I'm going to be? In church. I'll catch the game after. Look, your grandfather fought in Nam, worked doubles. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He smoked unfiltered cigarettes. Right. 2 at a time. And yet everybody else is like narrating their life like it's a documentary. Right. I noticed myself heading into a season of despair, of overwhelmment. I have a stalker. Yeah. Of 5 years. I mean, honestly, guys, the group text is getting a little draining. That's a great word. What? Draining. Well, it's emotionally draining me. We got to stop. Hey, You realize that your grandfather fought in both Korea and then was still in the army and went to Nam as well. I don't care. The group text. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with that stuff. And I know look, as a person who is as passionate and is as knowledgeable about sports and writes a great sports column, I can only imagine how frustrating it is to see people do things that you would love to be able to do and then complain about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
Do you realize how blessed you are? How
Yeah.
fortunate you are to do that? You have a job that if you left tomorrow, there's a line of 10,000 people waiting to replace you.
Yes. Right. And I think that too, when we talk about like modern people and the way we talk about things, it's just kind of that. I think humans have always been humans. Maybe now we're a little more nuanced. We have a little more education behind us as to talking about things and getting it out, because, people don't really recover anymore. They process things. I'm processing this. Give me time to process this. But that's
the process.
Right. But that's not. But even if you're processing, it shouldn't be something that we make fun of or laugh at, because then there's somebody who really could use that time.
Yeah.
And we mock them and we say stuff.
I just hate the people that like take advantage of it, and so the people who really need that help don't reach for it. I need a mental health day.
Right.
And then there's somebody who really does need a mental health day, but they're afraid to do that because every other douchebag at work, not my place of work, I'm saying in general, has taken like 10 mental health days, because my wife works with a bunch of jamokes that like just honestly, these millennial kids who just think the world revolves around them and think everything's a crisis. I got to take off this day and that day and this day and that day. I had my period. Hope you can relate.
All right. I don't know. I can't. I have no idea. Maybe I should get one of those things that they hook up to you. Remember to do? I think they give guys like a simulator.
Yeah, you and I actually were going to do it. Remember, we were supposed to go to like Highland, and they're going to attach like what is it, a birth simulator?
Yeah.
Because we watched the video. Two guys in Australia did it in front of their wives.
Yeah,
and they were like in agony.
Yes.
By the time we were done watching the video, you're like, you know what? We'll just play it instead.
I don't know. There is a line of thinking that some people have that would say we've stopped building resilience and now we just narrate inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've always narrated inconvenience to people closest to us.
Right.
Now we just
right.
But now we just get to splatter it all over
confidants.
The internet. And I think that's what people do.
Right. Like there's three things that have revealed who we really are. You always was two, and now with social media, there's three that reveal who you really are.
Yeah.
Money, alcohol, and now social media.
Sure. And we've had there's been wars, there's been plagues, there's been family issues, and now we need a wellness podcast because Target was a little overcrowded around Christmas time.
Oh, dude, like I've gone every Saturday before Christmas. I tell my wife, we're going to Target. I want to show you, I'm not joking, all the women, these poor women counseling each other in the aisles about how stressful the holidays have been.
Yeah.
I'm not making it up. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it took me 2 years in a row because I had to go get presents for my nieces and nephews. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a thing? So then every Saturday before Christmas, I'm like, okay, I got to go back there and see if this is still a thing. Mm-hmm. There were a couple of years where it wasn't that bad. But yeah, women just counseling each other because it's so hard and they have nobody to talk to other than social media sometimes. Sometimes. We're isolated in some cases.
And sometimes I think, too, that we put too much pressure on ourselves. People don't really care. I think we over try, or you know what I mean, there's an expectation we have. We want it to be this magical a wonderful life party type atmosphere,
right?
And the reality
what would life
is
be like without me?
But the whole right, but you want this magical time of year, this fairy tale, and the reality is you can make it really nice and there can still be a mess in the living room.
Right.
You know, your laundry could be still in the laundry basket at the end of the couch that you haven't put away in 2 weeks. And Christmas is still okay. It's not ruined because you did that. Right. Right.
Or like their Saturday Night Live bit with Cicely, forgot her name, and Matt Damon. Oh, that was a great holiday, wasn't it? And they flash back to earlier in the day, the MAGA uncles yelling across the table.
Well, it's like
kids are fighting.
But you need to go, there's nothing really serious going on here. Let's just enjoy each other. Let's just have fun. So what?
Right.
So what? And I think, it's hard because there's a lot of money that's spent. There's a lot of preparation that's done. A lot of it probably falls on, it falls more on women in the household, right? And so there is a tremendous amount of pressure. I just wish everybody would just be like, if you could step back and not feel that.
Mhm.
We had some chaotic holidays when I was married. The oven got stuck once. I got my father-in-law, my father trying to. I was an old oven. We hadn't replaced it when we moved in. We did right after this.
I wish we only had to pull apart the table and put in the leaf.
It locked. I had. Oh Lord, it was like, and I'm just standing there, and they're like two guys. They're both like with screwdrivers going at this thing, and they can't get it.
And each man's got to outman the other man.
I don't know. I have no idea. I just was like, all right. But those holidays, those moments, they're fun if you can look back, and you should really need to suck the life out of every one of those. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Really enjoy all of it, and not everything needs to be documented, and not everything needs to be said. But if you are, I like it that people are talking more about even feelings and things, which I used to sort of make when nobody hears how you feel. Your feelings are your emotions. Learn to try to regulate them. Why do you feel this way? What is it that's going off in there? Try not to be a pain in the ass to everybody else as you figure this out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That it's not somebody else's problem, but you try to. I'm glad that we're there and that there are resources for people to both online, privately. You can do telehealth from your own house. All those things I think are wonderful, but I do think like we got to have a little more resilience, and maybe we should keep some things to ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
A little bit. That's just it's an opinion.
Instead of
doesn't mean it's right.
my favorite phrase, which you gave, branded growth.
Yeah. Well, it is because all we do is
sometimes it's branded Arrested Development.
okay, but it's all about it is we brand everything, right? And I
syndrome.
I said on this podcast last week that I said, well, I'm a brand, so that's why I'm doing all these things online. And somebody came up to me in a place and goes, "Hey, you're a brand," and I laughed and I said, "I hope," and they go, "I know what you meant." I said, "But you are, in a sense. You've built a podcast.
Well, yes.
You were a personality locally, and then you built a podcast, and you're growing that and building this brand." And I said, so when I'm posting a lot of things, it's not in response. We were talking about, I guess, breakups, or I don't know what it was, but how people start to try to show their best selves to make the other, hey, yeah, I hope she sees this. I hope he's watching. You know what I mean? And then right. And so I think that's how people do it. And I go, what's really weird is I've been posting more than I have. But I mean, Alex will send me, like she sent me a whole itinerary practically of what I need to do when and how to do it and all this stuff. So there's a bigger push, right? There's a bigger push. That's all. All right, let's get the flip out of here.
By the way, you see that Amazon commercial?
No.
About like Amazon could deliver drugs to your home now, like a pharmacy, and like they can have a teledoc, right? And the one woman's like breastfeeding, and she's talking about how her nipples hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a commercial.
Yeah.
And like she's like showing the doctor like her
areola.
Yeah, not like you can't see that, but you could see her showing the doctor the whole thing. I mean,
I bet there's people who would be embarrassed to talk about that, I guess.
No, I know. I mean,
it's weird, right?
It's weird that you would see a commercial like that.
Where was it? On Amazon? On Prime?
Oh, no. Like these commercials, these commercials are everywhere. On cable. Oh, yeah.
I'm not watching TV. I don't have cable, and I don't watch
I said to my wife,
TV
I go,
outside of Disney for ESPN.
You would never see this even 10 years ago.
No.
Now.
No, probably not. Probably not.
You know?
I don't know.
Just the stuff they discuss in commercials now, it's like nothing's off limits anymore.
All right.
Like hemorrhoids was as close as it got.
For Dan Barillo. It's like a hemorrhoid to every sportscaster. I'm kidding. I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you next time.
Down in the north, we was up till they wouldn't let us in, and now we're letting.